Okay, hey, welcome back to my channel. Rewind that. It's your girl, Miss K. If this is your first time coming across my channel, welcome. Please be sure to subscribe if you like the vibe and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one and when I go live like I am now with my girl, pretty girl, loves trap content. Hey.
Yes. I don't know. I wait for that. Welcome. I just feel like a little warm and fuzzy.
Oh, thank you. Somebody said, I think it was AG. Shout out to AG. She was like, "Oh my gosh, I hate when I miss your intro." I'm like you never know. I'm like, I didn't know it was that, you know. Rashonda Greer was in here, and J Mac. J Mac says that he says, "I never seen the movie. I'm just here for the review." OMG. So here's what we're covering tonight. Obviously, if you clicked on it, you know we are discussing a Bronx Tale. It's a Throwback Thursday review, okay? And we are gonna get into it because let me tell you something. You know how I've seen this movie since I was a kid, and you are someone who you just saw it, right? When did you see it?
For the first time, it maybe I don't know when we first started talking about it. So it's probably 2 months ago, if that,
Okay.
within the past couple months. So we're
Yeah.
like polar opposites. It's kind of new to me, and is OG for you. So I'm definitely excited to hear our different perspectives. And
yes, me too. And I hope that the stuff that I noticed as an adult now, and especially when you like, I feel like now that I review shows, I'm kind of looking at it in a different lens as well. And so, like I'll watch something that I've seen like probably 1,000 times. And then once I'm like, oh snap, this, and I'm starting to make these different connections and these analyses and all of this stuff. And there is one thing that I caught on here, and I hope that I don't say anything before you because I want to see what you're gonna say.
Okay.
It doesn't matter, obviously, if you didn't. It's my own little analogy. So, but I'm excited about that. So we were supposed to do this like
it don't matter. We here now. Okay.
I know. Because like you said, you saw it like 2 months ago. So I'm like, yeah, we were just letting life kind of
we busy, y'all. We got kids and families and
we were letting it go. So he was like, we need to hurry up. Like because clearly, if you notice, it's BMF night premiere, right?
Yes.
So we're trying to squeeze it up in there before anything comes and everything, because Raising Kanan kind of got a little up in a way. But anyway, we about to get into it now.
Like the video.
So yes, please like the video. What I will say to J Mac, if you're here, you come back, whatever. Please do yourself a favor. This movie it's excellent. The funny thing about it, what I'll say is it's one of the greats. If you know, you know. And you know now.
I know now.
Girl. One of the greats. All right. Oh, so here it is. This is a very dark picture, but it was dark on the screen. And I just kind of like it because he's like in the shadows. So you have Calogero, that's the main character. His name is Calogero, and he's narrating and he's saying it was 1960 and doo-wop was the sound on the streets, right? And you get like this like sky view of his block, you know what I mean, and all of that. And I honestly always loved his voice, like, in his narration.
Yes.
I think that is something that draws you into the movie as well. He has a really good like narrating voice. And so now we get to see early on how much he admired Sonny, even before Sonny even knew him. This is Sonny, guys, if you haven't seen the movie. And Calogero, he tells us that everybody loved Sonny, and they looked at him like he was a god in the neighborhood. Right. And C used to watch Sonny all day and all night. So as he's narrating this, we see this scene. He's on the corner. I was gonna say on the corner on the block. He's talking to his men and everything. And C tells us that Sonny never noticed him until one day. Uh-oh. And we're not gonna jump into that yet. The infamous parking space incident. Okay, so before we jump into that, We also need to know or acknowledge that C or Calogero, he's not C yet.
Mhm.
Calogero, he loves his dad also, right? He admires his dad. You kind of see him copying him a little bit, like when they passed the church and they did the, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And so he looks up to his father as well, and when his father speaks, he listens and everything. His father is played by Robert De Niro, whose name is Lorenzo in the movie, and he is a hardworking man. He's a bus driver, okay? And Calogero loved to ride the bus with him. So, if do you want to say anything yet, or do you want us to continue?
No, I
Did you?
mean, I love, at this time, I'm like, okay, I'm loving, the setup. And I love the shots um, of New York City in the summertime, well, seemingly summertime. We see the
Mm-hmm.
fire hydrants. It just brought me back to my childhood because the fire hydrants, the Mr. Softy truck,
Mm-hmm.
the man with the Italian ices, like that's just,
Yeah,
it's just so just warm in my heart. So I just
I
love the shots
know.
of just the city in the summertime.
Absolutely. You are right about that. I tell you, there is some nostalgia when
Hmm.
it comes to growing up in New York. All right. So, Calogero's first rule is that he cannot go near the bar. Okay. The bar is like right there on the corner of their house. Their apartment building is all connected. It's like, in New York, how the buildings are freaking connected. Like the whole block will be connected, right? And so it's so hard for them to stay away from the bar. I mean, to stay away from the bar for him, right? But the parents are saying you need to stay away from the bar. Don't go near the bar. You can stay on the stoop, but just don't go near the bar. And when you get older, you'll understand. Like the father knows what he's talking about, but the kid is like, he's intrigued. He likes
Hmm.
Sonny, and then there's also a way for him to go into the bar through his building.
Hmm.
Isn't that crazy? So he just watching everything, and then I didn't put it in my notes, but now I'm remembering that time when he snuck into the like downstairs.
Hmm.
He saw all the players, right? And he
Yeah.
was going through all of the names and
Yeah.
the I was like, listen to this. And it's so funny that like the names that the Italians come up with in the mob, they come up with, like, it's so
Yeah.
real. Because
Yeah.
even when we were watching Get Gotti, they had
Hmm.
all those names too.
Yeah.
Hmm. They
Yeah.
had somebody bars because he spent most of the time behind
Yeah.
bars.
Yeah, Tony Toupee. They had Jojo
Yes,
the Whale.
Jimmy
Very
Whispers.
specific. Coffee cake.
Coffee cake.
Breaking coffee cake because his face looked like a
Mush
coffee cake.
mush mouth. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you don't really need the imagination, if you will, but
Right.
it's
Exactly.
very obvious.
Exactly. And that's why Stefano said what he said.
Yes, I was thinking that too. Oh
All right. So, are you ready to get to the infamous parking space
God.
scene? All right. So, we listen, Calogero and his friends, okay, they're on the stoop. You can already see that these little boys are they're probably not going to grow up to be much. They hate black people, they're racist. He doesn't really care. You can see already he doesn't care. Like he doesn't have that same kind of mindset as them.
Mhm.
They're ready to chase the bus down because the boy. Well, he was actually going with them though. So I don't want to say that you could see he doesn't care at this point. I don't think it really showed then because he was following after them when they were running after the bus.
Yeah.
And then the father called him back. So when
Mhm.
he calls him back, that's when we get the whole scene with the parking space, and we see these guys arguing and you mother this that. The one dude gets out with the bat and he's busting the thing. I'm like, pretty girl, do you go ahead and talk about it since this is
Yeah. So obviously, honestly, this is not a new territory, especially in New York.
sheesh.
There are plenty of fights and road rage incidents, especially when it comes to parking spaces, because it's at a rarity, honestly.
Hmm.
Especially if you got a specific one or you have a
Oh my
favorite one.
gosh.
So
Yeah.
it was a situation where guy A got a bat on guy B. He was damaging his property and threatening his life. So Sonny, he is I would say a community activist, if you will. and he was seeking justice
Oh my.
for, for his comrade. And that justice ended up in a deletion.
Oh my
And let's
gosh.
just say that. And
Mm-hmm.
meanwhile, the entire time, Calogero, and I feel like I'm messing it up, but
It's
whatever.
okay.
Um, um, he sees this entire scene play out. And
Yes,
this is
front row
when,
seat.
yeah, and they lock eyes for seemingly a long time.
Come on now. See, this is the crazy thing right here. In the beginning, he literally tells us that he never ever looked at him.
Okay.
The time when he actually looks at him, like you said, for a long time, locks eyes, all that happens to be a time when he's witnessing
I
him
know, right?
deleting somebody. But you know what that's all about, right? Because after when somebody deletes somebody, they always looking around to see who.
Yeah. Yeah.
They gotta
But
look for the witnesses.
let me ask you this.
Yeah.
And I can't see that being the truth, right? But is it a situation where, since how we talk about Raising Canaan, Canaan is narrating, do you think this is just Calangero's narrow point of view, and maybe Sonny have paid attention to him before, but he was pretty much insignificant? Like, when you're in the mob, you paying attention to everything.
Yeah.
So maybe he, of course, they on the stoop all day, every day. So I'm sure, he is, peeping him, but based on, C's interpretation, now he's paying attention. But of course, now I really gotta, we gotta lock eyes, because I need to know
right.
we here.
I mean, because best believe, I think he's probably right a little bit as far as, he ain't paying him no mind, because he probably does. Like, you're just one of the kids. But I bet you, like you said, I bet you he know whose son that is. Exactly. I bet you he know about Lorenzo, the bus driver.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
That's what I was leading towards. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he definitely has seen him before, obviously. You know what I mean? So what's up, Blaze McCrory? I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. What's up, Blaze? Peace and abundance, pretty Miss K, pretty girl, mods in the chat. Hope all is well. Finally caught alive. Yes. Listening for a second now. If you haven't seen, I feel like you're somebody that has seen Bronx Tale, but I don't know. But it is a movie to watch. Okay, so back to this whole thing, this whole deletion. For you, pretty girl. Okay, because when the dude, now the one that got out the car and he was swinging the bat, bam, bam, he's the one that got deleted. Okay, but the crazy thing is, you didn't see Sonny shooting him until like after the first shot. Like, so you're seeing this guy go like this, like he's trying to bring it down. He already brought it down. He's trying to bring it down again, and then all of a sudden you see like he gets shot in his arm. So it's kind of like a shock. You know what I'm saying? You're thinking, so like, what I'm trying to ask is, did you kind of feel caught off guard a little bit by that first shot? Like, oh shoot, like what the heck is going on?
Oh yeah, definitely. I thought we were just, playing baseball over here. I didn't know we was at the shooting range. Like, hold up, what's all right now?
Yeah, so it would seem that he would have nothing to do with this, Sonny. But whatever the case may be, because I mean, so this freaking day, we don't know what the freak this incident was over. Okay, to this day, and I just wanted to say it because I'm not sure if we would, sometimes when you kind of got to get it out because you think, oh, I'm gonna talk about it later, and then something happens and we forget.
No, I thought we want to wait to the end because I wanted to ask you, am I just an idiot? Because I still don't know what this was about.
No, I mean, watching it 1,000 times and no one ever says. All we know is it wasn't over a parking space. That's all we know.
Oh, God.
So we're not going to touch on it because, I mean, we're touching on it now, but we're not going to get into it too much more because it's still going to come up again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're going to leave it alone. But I just had to say that because I'm like, what the freak? That's one of the biggest mysteries.
I was like, okay, she definitely going to tell me tonight. She's going to enlighten me because I got to understand.
That's one of the biggest mysteries. Okay, but we're going to talk a little bit. I mean, I have my theories, but it don't matter. Shoot. It's only my theory. It's still not that satisfying. I mean, what the heck?
I want to hear it, y'all. I need something we go to sleep because I'm angry.
But you know who when we get to it, I think the one who gave us the the closest to our answer was Lorenzo. Lorenzo be knowing. I mean, just because he's a street smart guy, he has street smarts. He may be a bus driver, but he ain't stupid.
Exactly.
Okay. So yeah, like I said, they lock eyes, and out of nowhere, a hand comes and grabs Calogero off the stoop, snatch his behind off the freaking stoop. He's like, "Daddy, I don't know what happened. It was over a parking space." And so I mean, this was weird to me because it was like detectives come knocking on the door as soon as they freaking get upstairs. The incident didn't even happen 5 minutes ago. Okay. And they're already knocking on the door. And the way they're talking to them is like, just open the door. I don't have to open the door for you. The heck? This is my place. You cannot make me open the door.
Yeah.
I ain't like how they was talking. But I'm gonna let you but let me just lay this out real quick. Okay, so they want Calogero to pick out a shooter and in a lineup. Okay. But Lorenzo says, my son don't know nothing. This is why they were still in the apartment. My son don't know nothing. This little freaking idiot gonna say, I know everything, Daddy. I was like, oh, I know. I know the mother and the father wanted to strangle. Like, boy, if you don't shut your mouth, the mother was so worried, because it's not like you could say anything in front of the cops, like
exactly.
Go, you don't shut. You know what I mean? So, now thankfully, he did it. Now, as he's going down the line, he's saying no, 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 and then of course when he gets to Sonny, he's looking at him. But then he looks at his father, kind of like, and he must, your parents look, and he probably was looking like, boy. I mean, to me, yeah. I mean, the way he's looking at this picture right here, it doesn't feel like that to me. But Calogero got the point.
Yeah.
And so, my question is, why the heck didn't Sonny just leave the block for a little while? You know what I'm saying? You ain't had to be in a lineup.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe it's arrogance,
Yeah.
But I honestly feel like the whole situation was reckless of the police department. Like, can we get into a station with a 2-way mirror and a Pepsi? Like, can you make it a little more safe for me to
right? Right. It's in front of everybody. Every single person
was out there.
All of the mob is lined up. Then you got the whole block. Yeah, then you got the whole block just watching. And the crazy thing is the people on the block told that he was the one that saw everything.
That's the thing too. So it's like, okay, in the midst of 3 minutes, a shot occurred. You interviewed other people who told who was in front of them, but you didn't think to talk to those people.
Right.
You will automatically just go to this kid. And of course, the whole time the dad's in the apartment, like, no, he doesn't know. Like, the parents knew what it was,
Yeah.
But of course, C was just like, well, he's not C yet, but he's like, yo, like, I know everything. But I guess him facing his hero, he's probably thinking, okay, he's my hero. Do I want to get him in trouble? Like, maybe he had time to process it, maybe get the vibe from his parents, the whole neighborhood's around. So I think there was probably a multitude of things that was going through his head. And he was like, you know what? My hero's looking at me in the eye. I'm not going to dime him out.
Yeah. Yep. Blaze said it's more than likely, and this is what I thought as well, it's the arrogance and his influence over the neighborhood. So for me, I more so thought, like, when I was thinking, well, why the heck didn't Sonny just leave so he don't even have to be in the lineup?
Yeah.
I was thinking of that because Calogero already said that everybody loved him and they looked at him as a god. So nobody was going to tell, you know what I mean? And then his arrogance played into that. Like, ain't nobody going to tell on me, So yeah, arrogance and influence. Absolutely. What up though, Brillo? Listen, Brills, whenever you do the tournament of gangsters, I was thinking about you. I think you need to add Sonny. Okay. I got a few quotes from this ninja that you might,
you did have a lot of gems.
Yeah, you might enjoy, okay? Especially that motorcycle scene, but we ain't gonna talk about it yet. Anyway.
Miss K, quick question.
Yes.
He has a lot of, as the kids would say, clout in the neighborhood, referring to Sonny. Was there a couple people that's like, I don't F with Sonny, so I'm gonna tell the popo, who saw it be done, or is it just you just look at it as okay, everybody knew or saw? Because if you saw C on the stoop, you saw most likely what happened, right? Or is this they just going off assumption? Oh, he most likely, because it's like okay, if you saw him, you saw, or is it could have been someone who, after Sonny left, C was still on the stoop. Like, what do you think about that? Like, am I
that's
looking too
actually
deep, or?
No, but that's a good question. I never thought about that. I feel like what you're saying, there's definitely a possibility, right? Because there is always somebody that don't like what you're doing. Like even if we go back and we always got to talk about another movie or another show. Yeah. Even if we go back to like New Jack City, there was that one old dude. I'm not feeling what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So there is gonna be somebody. I mean, Lorenzo wasn't feeling what he was doing, but Lorenzo ain't gonna talk.
No.
So I think it could have been an old person.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, because why are you like? And then you're gonna pinpoint it on the little boy, like that's
yeah. Because if he's that scary, I'm not saying nothing. I don't know. I'm Zeke. I don't know nothing. Like,
yeah, it's foul, man. Oh, Brillo said Sonny was in there. I didn't know that. Okay, my bad. All right. So now Calogero, the father's like, okay, are you happy? Because Calogero says no. This is not him. And he's like, are you happy? He doesn't know anything. And the detectives are all pissed off. Like, yeah, just do me a favor, take a walk and all of this. Like, why you mad? You trying to be a bully and everything, first knocking on my door, telling me to open up and all that stuff. Now you mad. Yeah, take a walk. We know how it goes. Then you shouldn't have asked. So he's taking him upstairs and he's like, Daddy, I did a good thing, right? I didn't rat. I did a good thing, right? And he says, yeah, you did a good thing for a bad man. So that's our first quote of the night. You did a good thing for a bad man. And Calogero narrates that he didn't understand that. Like I didn't understand what my dad was talking about when he said that. Like at 9 years old, I didn't understand it. And unfortunately, later on, like that night, he starts to feel bad. Like he's thinking I did a good thing, but then he starts asking him like, Daddy, I thought I did a good thing, but now I'm not sure, And Lorenzo tells him that you did do a good thing, right? And you'll understand when you get older. So do you like, obviously I know what he's talking about, but like I want you to talk about like Lorenzo's response to him. Like you did do a good thing, know?
Yeah, it's weird because it's like you're trying to you got put in this complex situation, but this is a kid, so you don't want to divulge too much.
Right.
But you want to do all you can to kind of pacify his doubts and insecurities in the situation. So he has to teeter a fine line because even earlier that day he was like, I know everything. So it's like you still don't want to tell him too much because you never know, you may go to school the next day and you just, it's very delicate. It's
right.
You got the mob literally 2 doors down. Like
yeah,
be smart about this. So that's a tough situation, honestly.
Yeah. And of course, I just thought he was such a good dad, like especially these younger years and everything. And like he's telling him like you did do a good thing because of the fact that it saved your life, even though he didn't tell him that. But that's like you said, he had to be really kind of like crafty with his words, like, and then instead of saying, you saved your own life and probably ours, he just said, me and your mother love you very much. Like that was just that, So this way, when he looks back on this conversation, he could understand what his father was talking about, because that's all he's ever heard. Every time he asks a certain question, you'll understand when you get older. You'll understand when you get older. Yeah.
Or you think you've grown, or just those, you get tired of repetition, but of course when we all get older we understand.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, Calogero goes to, like he rides the bus. So they're going to City Island. And he's like, it was like a mini vacation and things like that. And, they're going to, so they went to like I think it was like the last stop, and then was gonna get ready to clean up the bus or whatever. So he's like I said, he's riding with his dad, and they're playing this little game as they clean the bus, and then they start talking about Joe DiMaggio and how good of a baseball player he is, and then Lorenzo asks his son if he knew why Joe DiMaggio was so good, and he was like because he's I forgot the answer that Calogero gave, but. Lorenzo oh my gosh, why can't I say it? Ultimately has to tell him that it was because of his talent, right? And then Lorenzo drops another jewel on Calogero and tells him to remember that the saddest thing in life is wasted talent. And this is a quote that has stuck with me since I was a kid, like watching this show and then growing up in life. That's why this movie is so classic, and it's really a gem pretty much. I think because it can teach people, like it's not just teaching Calogero, it's teaching everybody. Because you see, as you get old, like as I got older, I just saw people wasted talent, wasted talent, wasted talent. And every time somebody dropped or something happened to somebody, I would go right back to this movie, wasted talent. Yeah.
I agree. It's giving after school special if it was on A&E, not PBS. A lot of worldly things going on in this stuff.
Oh my gosh. Yes. So this is the quote, because it's like I said, it's always stuck with me. So this is the one that's gonna go across the screen for the rest of the live. Okay. So next we have Jimmy Whispers, who he gets on the bus, right? Bogart, like he trying to close the freaking thing. He put his hand through and everything. And he gets on the bus and he offers Lorenzo a job running numbers, and Lorenzo turns it down. Okay. Because now they both got Sonny's attention. Sonny's out there playing stick ball or whatever with the guys, and he sees Lorenzo driving and he's like nodding at him and stuff like that. Now, giving him the respect and all. And then they offer him a job, which is cool, but like, bro, nobody's trying to get involved with the mob. Okay. And he turns it down. He said, no, it's not for me. I think I appreciate it. It's not for me. And then to me, Jimmy was a bit threatening a little bit. Like, Sonny, I'm going to tell him he's going to be disappointed. Like, what? No. How did you?
I feel like it was multi-purpose, right? I feel like per Sonny's perspective, it's a badge of honor. Like I'm coming to you to for an opportunity. You can make some money. Kind of like a soft thank you, for raising your son right and not snitching. But also, I feel like it's kind of a trap because now he's going to be put in his life. Something goes wrong. He could be in danger. Or if situation with that may arise in the future, he will have something on Lorenzo in a person. So I feel like it was twofold.
Yeah, because if anything goes wrong, anything, like you said, a snitch type of thing, or this, he could listen. Sonny might say, "Hey, I got to get rid of all the people that probably know this." You know what I'm saying? Like, so Lorenzo is not stupid for taking, for denying this offer, declining the offer. And he tells his wife about it, and she was like, "You said no, He was like, "You what you thought
$150 a week now?"
Yeah, he's like, "You thought I was supposed to like what? I mean, come on, you know how it is." I love their relationship is just is so nice because it's like it was no beefing going on. It was just she was like, "Oh, I don't know, we kind of need the money. It's not like he's asking you to do anything bad." And then he was explaining, it's not like he got attitude. Everything was so like they're just so gentle with each other, And then he's like, "Well, you know how it is if I get involved with a guy like that, da da da." You know what I mean? And she's like, "Yeah, you're right." So and it's sad because they're they're obviously a struggling family, pretty much poor, I guess. But it's better to just work like that than be tied to somebody like that. Like working in fear. Like who wants to do that? Not me. So also they had the funeral. So you see Calogero looking outside the funeral, I think the funeral home, he can see it from his window. It's of the man that got deleted. And I'm like, okay, so the guy seems to be from the neighborhood, like none of this stuff really clicked to me. Like, I'm like I said, I've watched it as an adult also, but then when you put the reviewer's lens on, you're like, so something was going this, it just starts to kind of like add a little more to the story. Yeah, even though you still don't know. But it's like, okay, the dude lived in a neighborhood as well, because he's using the freaking, live somewhere around. Okay, so next we have Calogero, who is summoned by what's his name? Sonny. Hold on, let me get it. So he's summoned by Sonny, and to the bar, right? And I was like, at this point, why don't y'all just, keep the kid inside? You know what I'm saying? Like, don't let him outside for a little while.
Yeah, why is he still outside?
You know what I'm saying? Because here it is. Could you imagine a grown up taking your son by the hand and, they're walking him to the thing? But this is the 60s. So it's kind of like, in the neighborhood, you would do something like that or whatever. It's not a big deal. But it just was, for me, it was just like,
too soon.
Yeah. I was like, not really feeling this. So he gets there and he's talking to him and everything's like, come sit next to me, this and that. He asks him his name and like, Calogero, like, what kind of name is that? Freaking Sonny's Italian too. We're gonna act like the name is so foreign, but so he sits down with Sonny and he talks about Mickey Mantle, who we know that Calogero loves, right? And but Sonny tells him that Mickey Mantle ain't gonna pay your father's bill, so why do you care about him? Okay, so this is the first jewel dropped on Calogero by Sonny, and this is gonna continue to go on through the rest of the freaking movie. Okay, so before I let you go, Calogero asks Sonny if he deleted the man over a parking space. Like he just is like, hey, listen, bro, I didn't snitch, but I still want to know. Stay with me. Huh? Yeah.
What's he, sir?
Did you kill that man over a parking space? He said, when you get older, you'll understand. That's it.
Every day he got to hear that line. I'm tired. I'm tired for you.
When you get older, you'll understand, right? So after this conversation, it narrates to us that after this day, he never felt the same about the Yankees again. Okay. Now, come to find out, like I think a little later, we found out that he was ripping up his baseball cards and everything. All of this, like, I mean, this is this little kid was a serious baseball fan, Yankees fan, and now all of a sudden, this man done told him, "Listen, you think the Mickey Mantle cares about if your father can't pay a light bill or something like that? He don't care. Nobody cares." I should have put that on it. Nobody cares. Oh, I do have it on there. There's another quote. Nobody cares. So go ahead. I don't know if you wanted to add anything to this part.
Not at this point, because there's a line later on. No, well, not too far later, but he does touch on how his feelings about Mickey Mantle later on. So I think I will add at that point.
Okay.
About the Mickey Mantle thing.
All right. Good. Now, where are we at? Okay. So now, after this, Sonny gets closer with C, or vice versa. He's starting to come to the sneak off and go to the bar and everything. You see, he's like making his little money because he's serving folks, little bus boy over here, okay? Serving the people. And he, like I said, he's sneaking off to the bar. He's making a lot of tips, which we will talk about soon. But the scene, let me tell you this, I had to capture this because this was hilarious when he was putting people in the bathroom. I'm like, oh my freaking gosh. Yeah, put him in the bathroom. Put him in the bathroom. I don't want your face looking at his face. Put a towel over his face. He's like, come on. At least he respected him when he was like, Coffee Cake was like, come on, I don't want a towel over my face. That's embarrassing. Put him in the bathroom. He had JoJo, the fat dude, up in there in the bathroom. Mushmouth was in the bathroom. It was crowded, like 3 guys up in there, girl. I'm sorry. Did you want to say anything about this scene?
Yes, it was the fact that he was so passionate because, of course, now we know Eddie Munch is, he's a bad luck guy, you know. So he's like, I don't want your money touching my money.
Mm-hmm.
He was definitely not like, why? If he's such bad luck, why is he even here? Is it because
Right.
his bad money y'all gonna take that or what? Because why is he
I
even in the
wouldn't.
building?
Yeah, he wouldn't even be around me. Like, get Mushmouth the heck out of here, please. Please get him out of here. Oh, too
But
annoying.
it was definitely that's actually my favorite scene. One of my favorite scenes, I would say.
Yeah, and then the music and everything. So I did like the music in this movie. Okay, so yeah, and them saying, and it was so funny because to me everybody kind of shared. Once Sonny said put him in the bathroom, whoever whoever was supposed to put him in the bathroom were so passionate. They were like angrily passionate about it as well. Like, get that out of it. I'm like, what is this?
But then they was waving the
you're
money.
mad at Sonny.
They was like, I don't know if they were trying to place bets or bet with each other in the bathroom.
Yeah, they was doing something in the bathroom. Cause they were like, the big guy had his out on the toilet, and then Mushmouth was doing something.
Like, we gonna get in on this. I don't care.
Right. Oh my gosh, that was just too hilarious.
Oh, I love this scene.
So then we have let me see. Oh yeah, so after winning, so he's like his little good luck charm. I think he said he rolled like 11 in a row, some craziness like that, like just winning, child. So after this, Sonny started calling him C. So now we can kind of get away from the Calogero thing. We're gonna switch it up. We're gonna start calling him C from now on. Depending on certain things. But he also noted, and he gave him money, right? But it was, I don't know how much the bill was, but
yeah, I was trying to look.
I was like, is it 100 or what is it? Because C said this is not enough. I mean, especially if you got this whole wad and I just won all of that for you. Are you kidding me?
Like, I'm a kid, but I ain't no dumb kid.
Right. Come on now. Shoot, give me some, break me off right. I don't want you anything. I should have got a piece of every roll. You should have broke me off from every roll.
I should have had a pile like this.
Yes. What's wrong with you?
Ones or not. Make me feel like I got something.
So, Sonny, I'm sorry. C also narrates that after this, he started noticing that people in the neighborhood were even treating him good because of Sonny. Like that older man gave him peaches and all of that stuff. So I'm like, wow. So as he's going upstairs to tell his mom, look, Mom, I got some peaches and everything. Honey, the parents done found some money in his room somewhere. Okay, like $600.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. So Lorenzo, he wants to take the money back, and the wife is like, wait a minute. It's not like he did something wrong. It's not like he had to do something wrong.
Like,
so, yeah. And he was like, I don't want this kind of money, And once again, I always understand where Lorenzo is coming from. Like, you just don't want, I don't want no attachments to that life whatsoever.
Yeah.
And he goes and confronts Sonny about, giving his son the money. So, do you want to talk a little bit about this scene?
Yeah. I mean, personally, I would have thunk a little longer about that 600. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that would have been a little ethical dilemma that we would have had to think about for a little while.
Bringing up old-ish now. It's okay, going forward. we've severitized.
Yeah.
But one thing I did love about Lorenzo, he knew the boundaries, what boundaries to set with Sonny. But when it came to his son, that goes out the window. I don't care who you are, what your title is. I'm what we say now, standing on business.
Yeah.
My son. I don't care.
Yeah.
So I love that, about Lorenzo. He was a straight up guy, but he was pretty much told, like, stay the F away from my son. Like,
yeah. And he said it too, like you said, he was like, listen, I would never disrespect you. I know what you're capable of and all of this stuff, but you're wrong here. Yeah. This is my son. And the crazy thing is when he was like, this is my son, he said, he's your what? He's my son. Like, what the heck what?
That's better.
Right. Look, he's my son. This is not your child. This is mine. Like, what the heck is wrong?
You
And
probably
he
weren't
did,
used to that though.
huh?
He probably wasn't used to someone
Uh,
confronting him in that manner. So
right,
he's like, oh, he's
right.
thrown off a little bit.
And they had a little audience too. There was some guys around too.
Yeah.
And so he, like Sonny was saying, like, listen, I tell your son to stay in school, this and that. Like, he's trying to let him know that he tells him to do the right thing, which is true. That's absolutely true. Sonny has never tried to steer Calogero wrong. I'm trying to get away
Mhm.
get away from the Calogero. But Lorenzo says something totally true, which is, it's not about what you're telling him, it's about what he sees, the cars, the
Mhm.
clothes, the this and that. Like, he sees the lifestyle and that's what he wants. It's something that I can't give him, even though he doesn't say it. But it's like, it's not, I can't give him that. And like, it's like, how do you compete with this
Exactly.
as a father? Like, there was some type of scene that I actually was getting emotional for. I'll probably, I wasn't crying, but I just felt, it was just weird. I've never felt like that with this movie before. I mean, there are scenes where you could well up with some tears and everything, but it was about the way, it was like he's losing his grip on his son. I'll talk about it a little more, I think, when we get up to it. And so, C tells his dad, like, because he's like, I gave him the money back. He was like, Dad, that was my money. I want my money. Listen to me, Dad. Listen to me. He had to get smacked and everything. You're deleted. I mean, oh my gosh, I said you're deleted. You're muted.
No, I was like, is this where they got the commercial from? It's my money and I want it now.
Oh my gosh, I never thought of that. Shoot.
That's what I was thinking. That he's like, I earned it. I was like, yes, he earned. I was really advocating for this.
Yeah.
You're going too far.
Yeah, because he was like, that's my money, Dad. So he had to smack him and everything. He's like, listen, listen to me. I was trying to let him know, like, and he's like, oh, Sonny's right, Dad. The working man is a sucker. So that's the next quote. The working man is a sucker. I mean, we can't talk about this movie and not bring up that quote. Like, it's in here all the way through. So because those are the, it's the contrast between the two father figures in his life. One is a working man and one is a gangster making fast money, but the working man is a sucker. That's what he tells him. And the crazy thing is, I don't remember ever hearing Sonny say it. You always hear it out of C's mouth. I don't remember him saying it. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't remember him saying it. I always heard C say it when he said it when he was a little kid, and he said it again. So, I mean, I guess it would make sense. We don't have to hear everything, but it's just showing us that he's picking up stuff from him.
That is true. You're right. I don't remember Sonny ever saying that.
Yeah, never hearing him. So, I mean,
that's a good. Yeah, I didn't catch that. You're right.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see where else we're at, hun. Oh shoot, I should have had my little pen going. So it's about to be adult time, okay? But he says, C says that after this night, he narrates that his father and Sonny never spoke to each other again. And then we get fast forward to 8 years, which is, passed by, and he grew up, and then Sonny grew in power and became a boss, which was a bit weird to me because I kind of always thought he was a boss. So I don't think I've ever really paid attention to that in this. I don't know.
Maybe he was like a captain or something.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Had his little street folks or whatever. So, I mean, not a big deal, but just something that I thought. Okay. And so now we have another bus ride, honey. A bus ride where he with his dad, and he sees Jane for the first time, honey. And here's the quote: she was tall, she was beautiful, and she was black. Which is a no-no in his neighborhood, okay?
Yes.
So how did you feel when you saw him like giving this girl the Google, like just staring her down? Lorenzo was up there chatting away, C can't hear a daggone thing because he is mesmerized by this black beauty, okay?
Yes, Cupid doesn't lie. Yes, this goes to show that beauty, transcends race. Sometimes, what you're attracted to. You can see someone so attractive, and someone that just draws you. You don't even care, about the what we at this point to him insignificant,
Yeah.
details of race, even though we know it's significant. But to him at this point, I'm
Yeah,
just
he
a
like,
beautiful girl.
uh-huh.
So I definitely love that scene.
Mm-hmm.
Because we saw it beforehand, he wasn't even trying to get on that bus. He wanted to chill with his friends, smoking
Right.
cigarettes.
Mm-hmm.
But good thing he got on the bus, and he was mesmerized.
Yeah, even when his friends was hollering at the chicks, he didn't seem to. And I never really noticed he didn't seem that interested. But he doesn't always seem like he does what his friends do anyway. Especially now, as he's I don't
Yeah.
want to say adult, but as a 17-year-old kid or whatever. When he was little, he was I guess trying to do what they were doing. That's what kids do.
Yeah. Yes. I feel like it does still is still a trend, because I did see as the thing with the bus situation. He wanted to I feel like he just wanted to more so be with his friends, when he was trying to attack
Yeah,
the African American kid. Not that he was trying to do, because he always made comments like, well, they're all right. And he never really illustrated any racism like his
yeah,
friends. He was always
exactly.
kind of, more in the middle, like,
Mm-hmm.
it was talking about, oh, they're moving into our neighborhood, whatever. He was like, no, they don't bother
Yeah,
us. They don't bother, you could tell
right.
some of those came, from his pops, because he does ride the bus. He has to
Mm-hmm.
interact with different races. So
Exactly.
he definitely did seem he was way more mature and worldly
Yeah.
than his raggedy friend.
Mm-hmm. And then when yeah, you're right, because when he was younger too, he did say something about, because they were asking about the kid on the bus the first time when they were little, like, what are they doing riding through the neighborhood, this and that, and he was explaining because they have to pass through here to get there, whatever he said. And he's like, how do you know? He's like, my father told me, or whatever. So he and I like that point that you made, because him riding the bus, he gets to see all this diversity. Like, he's not kind of boxed in or has this stupid warped mind, the way, yeah, well, my father, the other kids like, yeah, well, my father told me that's how it starts. Oh, I hated them kids. I freaking hated them kids, yo.
Yes.
All right. So let's see so I honestly, at this point, I wanted to start talking about like the highlights and everything.
Okay.
But this movie is just too much. Like, it just has way too much great stuff going on. I couldn't do it. So, because we have to talk about Sonny's advice to Calogero when he asked that question. Is it better to be loved or feared? That was that was a serious question.
Yeah.
Sonny's answer was very interesting. I'm gonna talk about that right now. In a minute, we'll talk about what led to this whole conversation, but I'm just gonna read it out. Okay. So Sonny answers that it's nice to be both, but it's very difficult, right? And he said, but if he had it his way, he would be feared. He would choose. I mean, what are we surprised? You know what I'm saying? He said that fear lasts longer than love.
Yeah.
Which is wrong. And it's fear that keeps his guys loyal to him. But the trick is not to be hated. I mean, he's got some logic going on here. It makes a lot of sense, but like, go ahead.
No, yeah. And he also stated, he give his guys just enough for them to need him.
Yeah.
But not he doesn't really, he's not stingy enough to where they start to hate him. He said that's the trick, is not to be hated.
Yeah.
So he definitely is giving him a lot of gems on, his mindset. But yeah, this is interesting. It's giving a little bit of Ronnie raising Kanan a little bit.
Yeah, that's why I said, that's why on the night that I covered that, I was like, what are they trying to do, a Bronx Tale type of thing? Like, I was making fun of them, but yeah.
But yeah, he was explaining, how, fear keeps people loyal. And, this is his mindset.
Yeah.
But you can tell, and I just want to just double back a little bit when they first transitioned to that 8 years later. He pretty much was narrating that I believe the Yankees was in last place and he could give a damn. I
Yes.
love that line because that's what he first had his dreams shattered when it came to Mickey Mantle. So you
Yep.
can see throughout these 8 years, Sonny has really had an impact on him and his mindset.
Oh yeah.
And it stuck with him. I just wanted just to bring that up real
Oh,
quick.
that was so awesome because it's the transition, like the first when he's narrating from his perspective and his memory as a kid. I loved Mickey Mantle, all this and that. And then when we get to the second part of his life, it's a different narration. I could give a daggone. Like,
Yeah. So it's like,
I love it. It's just showing the total change with what's happening here.
yeah. Yeah. But yeah, this is
Yeah.
an interesting conversation. I definitely I love the talks between Sonny and C. Is it's
Yeah.
always thought provoking.
And
And he's soaking it all up.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, look how intrigued. Look how he's just like so attentive. Like, and then he asked questions. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Because the thing is, the guy, what was it, Louis or whatever? He owed him money, like $20
Yes.
or something like that.
Yeah.
And then he was trying to chase him when he got off the bus, and Sonny saw him like, yo, see, get over here, whatever. So he's like, he owes me money. He said, so what? And it's like, is he a friend of yours? He said, no, man. Then he got off cheap. You got him out of your life for $20. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like there are a lot of jewels that he dropped on him that he could take away, but there are some things that it's just like, yeah,
questionable.
So, and he'll learn that later on as well.
Yeah.
So I can't wait till we get. Oh my gosh, we're not. I can't just shut up. It's so easy to do.
I know.
But yeah, this was very good. So now we get the freaking motorcycle scene, child. And this motorcycle gang comes in now after all the ruckus starts. We kind of hear C narrating that these guys were used to going to bars and tearing them up, right? But when they first come on the scene, first of all, I think Whispers was trying to tell them, y'all got to go because of how y'all dressed. You know what I'm saying? We good fellas over here. We dress a little different. Y'all cannot bring your little funky behinds up in here smelling like gasoline and some kind of boots or something like that. I don't know.
We're classy over here. Okay.
Yes, we just come on. So it was like, we don't want to bother nobody. The guy spoke nice, and Sonny expected that. He said, all right, you know what? He spoke like a gentleman. Let them stay. So then they like, yeah, pour the drinks, do this and that. Then all of a sudden they just start spraying. Listen, poor Tony Toupee, whatever the heck his name was. And Sonny was like, as soon as he saw them doing it, I think he was just talking to C. He was like, like, look,
aggravated. You could tell he didn't want to take it there. He's like, all right, time to
really
pull the sleeves up. Yeah. Put him up.
Yes, and he really did. Like he just, it's not like he went in there swinging. He said, y'all need to leave. Okay, y'all gotta go. And so can we go back again, because I don't want to forget for later. This goes back to the shooting, because when he shot the dude, it was like, does it take all that? Like, why did you do that? You know what I'm saying? Because Sonny even tells him later on, I'm kind of jumping, but it's because I don't want to forget. He tells him that, you don't have to shoot somebody over everything, or, it takes more than that, or something about having a gun doesn't make you a tough guy or whatever. You know what I mean? And so for him, and then to see in this scene right here that he really was not trying to get violent. So that's what it took me back again. Like, then what the heck was that situation about?
Yeah, it has to be deep, but we can also look at it as, okay, I got away with that, so let me move smarter in the future. Maybe he's thinking of it that way.
True.
Maybe.
Yeah, because I had to think like that too. Like, maybe he just, he had enough. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But
there's still something there. Because even the conversation we were just talking about, him telling Sonny, oh, it's $20. He want your friend. So for you to give Sonny that advice, we understand you're not trying to have Sonny do what you do, But when you having that mindset
Yeah.
and you just over here just, pow people, like
Mm-hmm.
it
And
had to
it
be
goes,
deep.
yeah, and exactly. And then also what you're saying, it goes back to what the father said, what Lorenzo said. It's not about what you tell him, it's about what he sees. So he's getting mixed signals. Even after this whole situation, they was trying to get the gun thing, and then sees like, oh, I thought after the bar, like, situation, like, what that mean? You got jumped in or something like that without getting jumped. I
Yeah.
mean, what the heck you thought this was? You was a part of the gangster party now? No.
But then he tells the kids, "Oh, you trying to, buy these things, but you're gonna make the block hot. But you made
Right.
that the block was scorching that nice sunny day.
On
Sunny, what we talking
broad freaking daylight, okay? Broad
But
daylight.
I think it is a couple things going on. I think him just not wanting them to go in his footsteps. You can
Mm-hmm.
look at it that way. And they're young and
Absolutely.
reckless, so he knew, they wasn't probably gonna, be as I don't want to say as smart as him because that wasn't smart, but
Yeah.
I
Right.
get what he was. I get what he was doing, but sometimes
Yeah.
he contradicted himself a little bit.
Yeah, you know how some people be like, they rather be them than somebody else. Like, y'all too stupid for this. I
Exactly.
trust me to do it more than I trust you to do it. You reckless and dumb and have us get caught and all.
Yeah.
Like, let me do it, even though it's kind of stupid still. But he's like, I'm Sonny, I'm me.
Yeah.
The heck wrong
And
with you?
he always on one thing. I know it's a lot. He always referenced his friends and how dumb they are. But it's interesting because we never got to see the dynamic between Lorenzo, Sonny, and his friends. Like, was he giving him the same advice, or did he not
Right.
see that aspect of his life? Because of course everybody's outside, Lorenzo's
Yeah.
at work. But it was kind of interesting seeing that dynamic.
Yeah, that's a good one too. So back to this little situation right here. So they he said y'all need to leave. And I don't remember what the dude said. What did he say that I totally forgot.
Ugh, I
I
cannot.
guess, yeah, I don't remember, but all I know is somebody did something stupid again, and Sonny just calmly walks over to that freaking door and locks the sucker, and he said, now you can't leave. I was like, oh. And then they went down the line, like you hear C's narration, like their faces drop, this and that. You got the whole like come together dun, 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 right now.
I like they came
Oh,
through the back too. It was like, oh
yeah.
man.
Yes, mother, they came with the bats, like they was really not playing. Then you had the big one, Fat Jojo. I don't know what the heck he was doing. It was like he was like humping his body up against the guy. I'm like, what is he doing?
He was trying. He was trying.
They were beating them brutally though. Like
In
I
suits.
cannot say that they didn't deserve it because they
Was
learned that
beating.
day. They learned that day. And then when they put them outside, this is what Sonny says. He says, look at me. I'm the one who did this to you. Remember me. And so crazy thing about that is, and meanwhile, the 10 Commandments of love are playing while they done threw these men outside, threw them on top of their bikes and everything. Then the freaking kids outside. Them kids, Calogero's friends, oh my, they're so annoying. Like that's all they want. Everybody just wants that gangster life. So they're beating on them too, kicking them. And it's like, bros, y'all done came into the wrong neighborhood. All right. I hope y'all learned.
Yes.
Okay. So this quote right here, before I give you my little analysis,
Mm-hmm.
do you have anything that you want to say about that? I'm the one who did this to you. Remember me.
No, it was just regular scary gangster-ish. He put the kahunas right. I don't want to say on the table. It was on his face. Right here you go.
Right. So my thing is, and this is something that I realized as I was going through it, is that it's very ironic that he would tell somebody to look at him and remember him, right? Like, I'm the one that did this to you, remember me. And that was how his demise came about.
Yeah.
Somebody remembered you, bro.
Yeah.
Years later. somebody remembered you.
Yeah.
So it's so funny that he would tell somebody like, I dare you to remember me. And yeah, they did. So not these people, but somebody else did.
Yeah.
So I was like, I just love when little quotes like that start making connections. That's just,
I agree.
I kind of geek out a little bit with that type of stuff. So Sonny's friends, Sonny friends. What's his boy's name? Sorry. They want a gun, like we kind of was already talking about that. And then Sonny comes out and he smacks the dude around, the dude named Zero. Did you hear the reason why this man's is named Zero? Oh my gosh.
It was something, but it was his mother,
it was
right?
So sad. Yeah, his mother said he would never amount to nothing.
I laughed, but it was sad at the same time, like the audacity. No wonder he's over here selling blickies on the corner.
Yes, because you uncursed him and said he was never going to amount to nothing, stupid lady.
Yeah, that was wild. That was wild.
Wow. Okay, he was getting, listen, Sonny, like, what the, we talked about it already, but yeah, Sonny was like not having that. And then I loved how he just kind of like lined them all up and smacked them. Yo, Sonny's hands are huge. Did you notice that? His hands are freaking huge. Oh my gosh. I think I've noticed that since I was a kid. Yeah, but them large hands kind of just going up, like they was all lined up in the crowd and was like, come on, Sonny, bow, like get out of here. He's smacking him up. And then you get a slap. So then he talks to C, he pulls him to the side and he tells him, he's like, like, what are you doing and all of this stuff. And that's when we was already talking about how he said, I thought after the bar thing, this and that, and he's like, don't do what I do. I always tell you, stay in school. Well, actually, he said, what do I always tell you? And then that's when C repeated it back, like, stay in school, this and that. I know, get 2 educations and everything. And then he was like, don't do what I do. This is not for you.
Yeah.
And those moments, it makes Sonny a lovable guy, when it comes to C, at least, because he really does love him and, look at him like a son. And he's really trying to groom him, remind him, don't do what I do. So I do like that.
Yeah.
Let me write something down.
Okay.
So that we will talk about it for our closing remarks, because girl, I really need to talk about. There's certain things in this movie that I wonder if it was like real life related. Hold on.
Right, like the video, y'all.
Yeah, like it. Okay. Oh, child, I didn't know we was gonna be hit. This is long. Oh my gosh. I don't mind, but
no, it's the content. Sorry.
Exactly.
You can't rush through this.
You cannot. Because I'm looking at my notes like, oh my God. All right. So now, okay, wait. Sorry. I done went through the wrong thing. Hold on, guys. Give me a minute. Okay. So yeah, he tells him, don't do what he does. It's not for it's not for you. Did you want to add anything onto that? Or
yeah, he also, I love the example or the scenario he gave him. He's like, yeah, you think you're a tough guy with a gun, but what happens when the other guy pulls a gun? Who's the tough guy there? Yes. So I definitely love that.
Thank you. Yes. Because girl, I be wanting to write everything down, but I was like, nope. I'm telling you, I was like, she gonna get it. She gonna get it. Nope. Trust in the process.
I was like, that was kind of deep there, Sonny. I'm gonna give you
Yes. Okay. We'll see who the tough guy is, because he was like, I've seen plenty of tough guys with guns wet their pants.
Yes.
So don't even think that. Oh my gosh, I love it. So let's see. So we go to the boxing match now. We know that the father already asked him if he wanted to go. Sonny already did as well in this scene right here. And he said, well, my father, I'm supposed to go with my dad or whatever. He's like, all right, well, if you see us, you come say hi, this and that. So then we have one of the guys come up and off, because they see him. Sonny sees him waving and everything. And Sonny is over there next to the freaking ring. Okay. I'm like, sheesh kebab. And he's over here joking. See, like, come on, Dad. I hope I don't get a nosebleed and all this stuff. So don't be a jerk, Lorenzo is strong though, man, because of the stuff going on. It could have really bruised his ego.
No, yeah. I agree.
Yeah, so he's like, "You want to go down there with them? Go down with them. You know, I bring you here. I get these tickets, and all you could do is want to go down there with them." This and that. And he's like, "I'm sorry if I hurt you, Dad," and all of this. And I like this. I like when he said, "I like my seat because I paid for my seat." You know what I'm saying? Even though it's a bad seat, it's like I paid for my seat.
Yeah,
Like,
I earned it my
yeah,
own
I
way,
earned
the
it.
right way. Yeah, yeah.
That's that. I worked hard. Shoot, I drove this bus. Just freaking people got on my nerves. Probably kids. Remember in the beginning, the kids was hopping on it. Like, come on, shoot. I'm not.
Yeah. No, I agree. This was another good scene because this, for the first time for me in this movie, this shows really the true conflict that Sonny's dealing with. You know, his
See,
two.
yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's
See,
okay. I just want to remind you because I'm doing it too.
yeah,
So
I do it. Yeah, I do it all the time. Because he really wanted to go with Sonny. Okay, I wanted
yeah,
him to get that better seat with Sonny,
I
but of
know.
course, he decides not to honor his father. And I do like there are times where C is very cognizant of his father's feelings, and he does apologize and corrects it at that time. So I do love those moments. But
Yeah.
it was funny for me. Now this is a pretty packed, venue, and Sonny spots C like no problem.
No problem. Out of nowhere.
Like it's like it's. I mean, at this time point, it's pretty much his son too.
Right.
So
Exactly.
like we get that. And I don't want to say soul tired particularly, but
Yeah.
like this, my son. I know where he at. Where I know where you at, regardless of the situation. That Sonny always knew the right time to interject when it came to something. When it came
Oh
to
yeah.
I
Oh
love that.
yeah. Oh yeah. So yes, absolutely. You are so right. Cause it was like, how the freak you see him all the way up there?
Like he was casually like, yeah, what up?
Yeah. I'm like,
like I'm all the way to nosebleeds for real, sir. Come on.
right. The heck, man. It's crazy, yo. I wouldn't be surprised if he went to somebody like the box office or something like that. You see somebody of Lorenzo Anello, show me where where's he seated, right? You know what I'm saying? So you can look for him. You know, they got the connections, but I ain't going that deep. I'm just playing. No, shoot. That's his pull. My man's got pull. He over there hanging out on the daggone side, ringside, literally. He ain't even sitting down. He's walking along the freaking ring.
That's crazy.
Outside of the ring. So I just wanted to show this pic real quick. It's not a good one, but it's so funny because this guy in the middle with the hat that's sick, he always made me laugh with the way he was swaying. He almost looked like he had like a kind of like a drunk bop or like I can't really explain it, but I've always laughed and still enjoyed the way he was moving his body, the one with the leather coat on or whatever. It was always funny to me. So we don't have to talk about it. I just wanted
gotta
to show
look
you
back.
that.
I mean, if it's giving nights like this, I wish. I'm gonna rewatch.
He was just going with the song, and he kind of had this like slow, like he was swaying his body from this. It was just funny. I'm like, yo, the way he moving. It's a little different, child.
I love the little East Side High moment. I'm like,
yes,
cute. This is cute.
And I like
still
that.
a thing, apparently, Years later, look at the little baby hers. Oh,
I know, right?
She's so beautiful to me.
I know, so beautiful. Okay, so this is when we find out that the girl goes to his school. Child, like, how you ain't see her this whole time? All right. And the crazy thing, these boys are so like racist and stuff like that, as if they don't even go to school with black people.
That's the thing. You would think they were segregated or something.
Yeah. Like they're literally right next to you while you're walking through the halls. Like, shut up. So yeah, he sees her, he finally goes to talk to her and everything, and she's like, I like Italians,
Yeah, I know,
right, girl. She fixes his hat and all of that cute stuff and everything. And so they come up with, he walks her home. Well, not walks her home. He walks her, to her neighborhood the best way he can.
Yeah, to the block.
As far as he can, okay? And they decide, she actually initiated it, like, you want to go to the movies or whatever? So they're supposed to go to the movies the next day, honey. But Hunty, the same day, the black boys riding through the neighborhood on the block, and it became a problem.
Yeah.
Had to talk about that there because I don't have the.
Yeah. Well, we see, a couple, we already know like the progression from 60 to 68, the neighborhood is now more, well, I won't say more mixed on their block, but seemingly, more African Americans are around. So of course, racist friends decide to attack them, and C was trying his best to pretty, much just calm the situation down, but he's still conflicted because he's still trying to be loyal to his friends, even though he knows they're wrong. So he was trying his best, he was just holding the guy down, helping his friend, but not trying to really, harm him any more than his friend is already doing. So we see the conflict. Like Sonny has a lot of little conflicts that he's dealing with amongst his friends and amongst his father. So it's kind of interesting seeing him navigate, those situations the best way he could. But yes, his friends is just, they're trash.
Yeah, and I'm so glad that you said that because like you said, he's trying to navigate, but like you hear a lot that he cares about what they think, or he cares about how they look at him. You know what I mean? Like they would look at me like this, or they would, even when it comes to Jane, like that's a no-no in my neighborhood. They'll look at me like this. They'll say this and that. If he snitched, it'll be this, it'll be that. Of course, nobody wants to snitch, but he always goes back kind of when it comes to his friends about how he would look. You know what I mean? And he was trying to hold the guy down so that the dude wouldn't, just stay down. You know how people be saying, stay down for the safety purposes.
Yeah,
just, play dead.
Stop, drop, and roll. Do something. Just chill out.
Like just you knocked out or something. But then that they said that. Did you notice how like the people in the buildings was like, the cops are coming, run, like really, like like y'all over here started this whole daggone thing. Y'all gonna try to give them a way out. Y'all all jacked up, So that was a serious scene. And then we also get and then the other dude, Slick, he was trying to do more, and that was actually Willie on the floor there. He was trying to get at him even more, like do some extra stuff, as if something that could have probably killed him. He was already on the ground. It's just sad. You hate somebody so much, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So next we have Sonny, who tells, I'm sorry, not Sonny, C tells Sonny that he's interested in a colored girl. And Sonny's response is more like, you like this girl? Like it wasn't like, get the freak out of here, stay with your own kind.
A moolie, you like a moolie.
Right. Because he probably had a few of them too, honey. Bunny.
Yes.
All right. Them the mafia dudes. They be having a little chocolate. And then so he starts, telling him that, and this is so funny because I think he's coming out of his house and he's literally driving in reverse.
That was so cool to me.
Yes. So cool. and he's like explaining all of this with the, the women and how you only get 3 greats in your lifetime. And they come around every 3 years, but every 10 years. But the crazy thing, he said he got all 3 of his at 16. I'm like, it just don't be mathing for you, huh, Sonny? All your jewels that you be dropping, it don't apply for you though.
I was like, all 3 of y'all was at 16.
Right. And then like he was explaining how the greats are kind of like, they come along like the boxers, and then he brought up Rockin' Marciano. Remember how
Coming to America.
Joe Louis, yeah. And then it just brought me back to Coming to America, when the guy said, every time he talk about Joe Louis, a white man gotta put Rockin' Marciano out. And he sure did. He could not. But Joe Louis was in that, category.
Yeah.
So he was in that list. So that's what's up. Okay. So look, here's the thing. Sonny's gonna let C borrow his car. Okay. And give her the door test, because he was like, you're gonna give her the test. And he was like, what, the Mario test? Man, get the heck out of here with that daggone Mario test. Okay.
Mario thought he was so deep.
Right. Listen, his test is very faulty, but first of all, he's right. If the girl gonna go down while somebody
No, yeah,
watching,
it was
she's
right.
trash. But at the same time, if you're a woman with dignity, I don't want you now. You over here pushing my head down. Are you
Exactly.
stupid? So now you don't got a girl. Either way,
It's a little
it doesn't work out, bro.
Oh God.
Did you want to say anything about this scene where, you know?
Yeah, I love the reverse driving, and I also love, like I said, another great conversation between Sonny and C. But honestly, like we spoke, I did not expect that response out of him. He was telling him to follow his heart. At the end of the day, it's about who are you in the bed with. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
the only thing that matters.
Yeah.
And honestly, I thought he was going to tell him the opposite. Just based on Sonny, what he's a part of. That thing of his.
Right.
But yeah, it was definitely a great scene. I loved it. I mean, letting him borrow his car, that's definitely I want to say a testament of trust, but we're gonna see.
Exactly.
Talk
We're
about
about to
trust
talk.
later on.
We're gonna talk about that in a minute. Yeah, absolutely. Like he says, like, screw your friends. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's just about you following your heart. And like you said, whoever you lay down in bed with, that's really all that matters. So then we get a whole different response when he talks to his father. And the one that you thought was gonna turn, said something too crazy. You thought that he was gonna get the answer that you thought you were gonna get out of Sonny. You got it out of Lorenzo.
Exactly.
Oh, I just think that you should date your own kind and all of this.
Yeah.
But that was crazy.
Yeah, it was definitely opposite. But I have to, when I think a little deeper about it, Lorenzo is one, he don't like to rock the boat, if you will.
Yeah.
He try to stay in that narrow line. He try to go, I don't want to say the easy route, because he's been given easy way outs in a sense, but he just tries to do everything, the straight and narrow way, and not really cause too much of a ruckus either way.
Yeah, that makes sense. But he doesn't tell his
It still looked like a trashy response.
Yeah, it was. And I mean, he says, I mean, I'm not prejudiced. And then C was like, oh, you're not prejudiced, Dad. Come on. You're gonna tell me you're not prejudiced. But the crazy thing is, so C, well, not the crazy thing. The interesting thing is that C was able to honestly tell Sonny that it was him. But when it came to his father, he said it was his friend.
Yeah.
He's like asking hypothetically or whatever.
Yeah.
So that says a lot too.
Yeah, you know who to ask what, like, how you can be no filter with or not. And I thought also it was part of Lorenzo thinking he's keeping C safe. That's one of the things, like going to Sonny multitude of time. Me, my son, and lonely, because he knows and he's seen. Of course he has to be around African Americans, so he's probably knowing the danger of mixing and biracial, dating. So he's probably trying to make sure he kind of steers clear out of that possible danger too. But I still think at the core of it, he's kind of, some people are not, they don't think of themselves as racist per se.
Oh,
but
yeah.
They have a little prejudice against.
Absolutely.
I have Black friends. What are you talking about?
Right. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. What's up, T-Man? All right. So, let's see. And so now it's time, right, for his little date with Jane. All right. The funny thing is, these kids are walking home from school and this and that. When now that it's time to go on a date, they both got cars. Like, what the? I mean, we know where Sonny got his car from. I mean, not Sonny, C. But where the heck did Jane get hers? Your mommy and your daddy too, girl.
You talk about a scratch in my head moment. I was like, what? And then when he first approached her in front of the school, she was waiting for her brother. Then he was like, I'll take you. She was like, okay. I'm like, that's not how it works. Like, suppose your brother thought you was snatched or something. Like, no communication. Like, it was funny, but I was like, yeah, where does car come from?
Right. So it's time to meet up for the little date, but he sees Jane approaching and she don't look happy at all, and he can see it on her face. Like, what's wrong? My brother got jumped or beat up in your neighborhood the other day, this and that. Like, was you there or whatever? Because he's like, so what that got to do with me? He said, was you there? Right? And then he was like, no, I wasn't there. Like, why the freak you lying?
Yeah.
And then the brother's in the car. Because when she first, walks up to him, the brother's not there. Brother's in the car. Okay, we'll see. Are you sure? All right, we see my brother's in the car. We gonna find out right now. That's the worst. You have to be called out on your lie right then and there. Soon as the boy comes across the street, he's like, yeah, that's him or whatever. You was there, you did this, you did that. They start, going at it and everything. And then he said, I tried to help you, and then she was like, you just said you wasn't there and all of that, right? So, oh, I was there, but I tried to help you. You effing know I tried to help you. And as they walking away, you effing N-word. Yeah. And that was the thing right there.
Yeah, that. Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah. First off, it was giving Maury Povich decoy room when they had the little episodes where they had the setups. Here's the tape. Here's the playback. It was giving a little bit of that.
You crazy.
But yeah, I was like, ooh, like and this is the thing, right? Because we truly know that he's not racist, but it's just, I think one, he was heated in the moment. Mm-hmm. He was frustrated because he was telling the half truths, you know what I'm saying? He was trying to help him. And then when I look back in the scene, I'm like, dang, they both had on hats. So the brother probably truly thinking it was him because he probably had to think they all look alike. So I was just like, oh my God, I'm like, oh, you done messed up.
Yeah, that was because I don't know, child, but
so much passion.
But my girl came back like it wasn't no problem, child. But we're gonna talk about that in a minute. Like, even if he said you was telling the truth, you still said the N-word, my guy.
Yeah, we
like, is that right? Is that what we gotta look forward to if we date and you get mad at me and whatever? Like, no.
That threw me off too.
So now C returns with Sonny's car. Mm-hmm. And he's so sad that he doesn't even want to talk about it. Like, he doesn't want to tell Sonny what happened because Sonny's like, you're back already? And he was like, yeah, it's all right. It just didn't work out. I don't want to talk about it, please. Like, he just wanted to go upstairs to his room. But when he was driving back, his father happened to be looking out the window and saw him driving the freaking car. Okay, Sonny's car. He know that's Sonny's car. So he comes in there and he's like, what was you doing driving Sonny's car? And this is like, come on, like, you already know he's in a bad mood and his father is coming to him. He's like, I'm not in the mood for this, Dad, like, I'm not in the mood. He don't give a daggone. He's like, I don't care. You know how it is when you're a parent. I don't give a daggone if you're in a mood or not. Who paying bills around here? Not
exactly. You. I'm not in the mood to pay these bills.
Exactly. Exactly. Sitting on that bed I paid for, talking about you ain't in the mood. So
quick note, early in the movie they was eating. He's like, I'm not in the mood for steak. I'm like, dog, right.
Exactly. I know. I said that too. I was like, steak? You're not in the mood for steak? As much as steak costs now? Oh my god.
Sorry, that part took me, but go ahead.
That is so true. Like, I couldn't believe it. He looked at that sucker like it was some type of dead squirrel she put on his plate. Yeah. I'm not in the mood for steak. Like, wow.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay because it's true. All right. So, like I said, Lorenzo saw that he was driving, Sonny's car, and he asked him, like, why are you driving it? But the main lesson that stood out to me in this conversation was when Lorenzo tells C that he doesn't have to know Sonny, because he's trying to tell him, like, all the stuff I've been telling you, like, you're not listening to me. This was the scene that I got emotional. I didn't cry, but I got emotional because it's like especially when you have sons and you're just trying to get through you're trying to give them the jewels. You're trying to teach them, you're trying to give them the life lessons, and they just act like they can't freaking hear it. And it's so frustrating and scary at the same time. So watching this now, because I've watched it again, as an adult, of course, but then now that my sons are grown and stuff like that, it's just like, oh my gosh, because that's when you don't really have that control anymore. Yeah. And you can tell them everything you can tell them. But when they're out there, it's just like, oh, you just got to trust that they listen. Yeah, they're going to do the right thing. Yeah. So it kind of made me feel emotional. I was like, wow, I never felt this way before while I was watching this movie, and he's trying to, like, tell them, like, basically, in a way, it felt like to me like he's pleading with him, like, I keep trying to freaking tell you, like, when the heck are you gonna understand? You know, and he said, you don't know Sonny and everything. He said, I don't have to know him because I know the way he thinks. You know, he said if you cross the line or do something that he doesn't like, he will off you or hurt you like anybody else.
Yeah.
You know, which was so crazy that he said this to him right before.
Yeah, because he said a man like that trusts nobody. The sooner you learn that, the better.
Yeah, and I was just I got that right there.
Ooh.
He said, yep, I got that right here. That was the next thing that I was gonna put. The sooner you know that, the better. Mm-hmm. And he said, I keep trying to tell you, people don't respect him, they fear him. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's funny that he would say that because he wasn't there for the conversation.
Yeah.
You know, the son thinks, oh, everybody loves Sonny. They, you know, they look at him like a god. But, and then Sonny even said out of his mouth, if I could have it my way, I would choose fear.
Yeah.
And it's evident that that's how he rules with the iron fist. He's over here smacking people around in the freaking neighborhood. He shot somebody and killed somebody in broad freaking daylight. It's clear that that's how he rules with fear.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Also mentioned in that conversation, you know, with Sonny, you know, he said, you know, I know my jokes ain't that funny. Because the Sopranos kind of had that thing too, where, you know, Tony had an episode and, you know, he noticed the one guy not really laughing at his jokes. Like, you got to watch out. You know, that's the guy that's going to be honest with you because he's not over there kissing your ass.
Right. I gotta go back to the Sopranos too. That's another rewatch I gotta do. I'm not gonna do it though. I'm saying by myself.
No, you're
because I forgot so many things from that show. Yeah, because you know, I forgot to mention the reason why he said a man like that can trust nobody is because C was like, you know, you're wrong. He trusts me. Mm-hmm. You know, and it was like, no, the freak he don't. And then he gonna go out there and walk away and, you know, start arguing. He said, my parents, you know, because this is when he tried to drop the jewel again. I keep trying to tell you the saddest thing in life is wasting talent. He's, oh my gosh, you know, trying to, like, I don't want to hear this. As he's walking behind him, you're gonna hear it. And my parents came here to do this and they left with nothing or whatever, you know, just being disrespectful. And then before he leaves, he said, don't take it out on me because you're a bus driver. And then once again, he says the working man is a sucker. Just totally disrespectful. Just to go out there and get your behind handed to you and find out that your father was right all the freaking long.
For a better man than me, because me, the woman, would have whooped some ass.
Right.
But at some point, they get too old, that ain't gonna really do nothing. So he just
exactly. This is a scene that always brings tears to my eyes. Always. So Sonny confronts C about meddling under the hood of his car. You know, he's like, where did you go after this, after that? He smacks him. Like, he doesn't even really like let him explain anything. He just kind of like roughs him up. He's smacking him. He's trying to answer, but he keeps smacking him. Like, tell me the truth. What this? And he's like, I don't know what's going on. Like, it's catching him off guard, and he's trying to tell him like, this happened, and I did this and I did that. Like, what's going on? Like, what happened? Tell me what's going. Like, tell me what happened. And so then he said, the car didn't start. Then we went and lifted up the hood, and there was something on it or whatever, you know. And so he just automatically thought that it was him. Like, it just didn't make any sense for him to flip out on him like that because he's never had your car before. So to try to, if he was plotting to delete you, like, he wouldn't try to come up with the scheme again to use your car because he never drove your freaking car before, and he didn't ask you to use the car.
Yeah,
you offered it.
Yeah, that was odd, but of course, it's a testament to the conversation he had with his father. Like, all that he trusts me go out the window when I think you out to get me.
Yep, like he said, yep.
But said, you know, maybe
you F up, he gonna hurt you like anybody else.
Yeah, but I don't want to say to Sonny's defense, but maybe his point of view, he was like, you back already? I thought you had a date. Because, you know, he's probably thinking about that, you know, but still it doesn't match with the history that you guys have. But again, that when I feel like the one time I give somebody, he probably didn't let nobody else drive that car. So it's
Mm-hmm.
probably just a horrible coincidence.
Yeah,
that
that's true too. Because I
yeah,
was thinking that too, like it did kind of look bad when he came back that quick, and then on top of that, he kind of like brushed him off, like I just don't want to talk.
yeah.
It didn't look good.
Yeah, and he didn't when he wanted because he turned down. Sonny was like, "Let's go, go come with us." He was like, "Nah, I'm good. I don't want to talk about it." And Sonny, he was concerned, but it was more so like dang, my son hurting. What I'm saying? He couldn't help him, but it
Yeah.
it did look kind of weird and suspicious because Sonny, he always willing to ride with,
Mm-hmm.
for the most part, unless his
See,
dad
yeah.
is involved. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that scene was definitely it was
Yeah,
topical.
especially when he was like, I swear, you've been like
Yeah,
a father to me. Why would I ever want to hurt you?
yeah,
And that was the thing that made him like loosen his grip, like,
yeah.
oh
It's
my
like, dang, he right.
God. Yeah. Like why, and it's so true. Like he really looks at you like a father figure.
Yeah,
So like what would he gain?
yeah. The only thing I was thinking was Sonny was thinking maybe someone put C up to it, like maybe an
Mm-hmm.
op, that's the only thing.
Yeah.
But still, that's kind of reaching. But he can't
Yeah.
trust nobody, so
Right. Can't trust nobody. So come to find, so as he's leaving, what happens? The father comes out because C done ran out on his dad talking talking some trash. So the father done probably put his shoes on and there. Who knows what he was about to come out to do?
let's see what's going on here.
Yeah, he might have been his thing probably was coming out to whoop C's freaking behind, and come to find out he see his son getting
He like,
getting
oh,
yoked up by somebody. He said, "What happened? Yo, Calogero, what you do to my son? This and that."
mhm.
And he was coming up to him and everything. He said, You put your hands on me, I'll put you in the effing ground," or whatever he said. And one of the guys punched him in the stomach. I'm
I'm
like,
like, come on, you ain't had to do that.
I
But
know.
he's like, you talked crazy to me 8 years ago. I ain't forget, so I'm
Exact right.
fool me once.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad that he still kind of had like a respect for
Yeah,
Lorenzo. Like this is C's father. This is my son's father. Like I can't
exactly.
mess
Yeah,
with.
he's like my baby father.
Right. He's this freaking guy got immunity. You know what I'm saying? He be doing a little too much, but he got immunity. So so now C gets in the car, like, well, here go them daggone troublemaking friends. Because what happened was the black dudes must have came around and tried to trash up the little area, whatever. It don't even look like they did nothing crazy.
Yeah, that little
Now
social club.
yeah, and now they want to go over there with some Molotov cocktails. That's how you say it, right?
Yeah,
Molotov
Molotov.
Molotov cocktails.
Hmm.
Okay, I was about to say Mazel Tov. Mazel Tov.
I mean, mine as well. It's that's
Yeah,
they do it the
Molotov
same.
cocktails. Okay, trying to burn the place up and everything. And the crazy thing is, they went by blasting first, so they was really trying to kill people.
Yeah,
Okay, like these guys came and vandalized your stuff a little bit, and
yeah,
now you're so pissed off. Y'all started this whole fight. Y'all so freaking pissed off now, and so you want to go and just take it there. So C is in the car. We hear him narrating that like he just like everybody was smiling and things like that. But he was dying inside. He just wanted to get out of the car, But once again, we go back to it's always the friends. What he's thinking about, what the friends are gonna say. He don't want to look like a punk and everything.
mhm.
But in this moment, he kept hearing his father's voice, and he would like quote what his father was saying. Then he heard Sonny's voice, and he would quote what Sonny was saying. I love that little like how both like it's just like this
Yeah.
in his
Not really the
ear.
devil and the angel, but like,
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Like, I don't want to say devil and angel,
yeah,
but
but
it's like
yeah.
he want to get out the car, man. He's like dying inside, but here goes Sonny to the rescue.
Yeah.
And before you go, I loved when Slick was like, "Come on, Sonny, he's with us." Like, who you think you are? Mind your business, you. Come on, Sonny. He don't like did he take his head and just boom?
Yeah, I think he
I think
slammed
he
it. Yeah.
banged it on the desk because
Mhm.
Sonny is always smacking somebody, but
Yes.
he banged his head on the thing. Like, didn't I tell you to shut the heck up?
Yeah.
Get out of this car. Stay away from this kid. He ain't have to worry about that though. He did not have to worry about telling him to stay away, child. But go ahead,
Yeah,
pretty girl, how do you feel
yeah.
about this?
Mainly, I love the fact that, yeah, like I said, he saves them at the nick of time.
Hmm.
And everybody knows that relationship that they have. So it's like, it's my son in the car. He needs to get out.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just his gangster spidey senses felt, something
Mm.
was going to go awry. But it was also cute, right? Because he just yoked him up, slap him. They punched his dad, but he still had that in him. Like, I gotta go get him.
Yeah.
I gotta
Because
go
he
back.
had to be following him, right?
Yeah, something. Because I'm like, where did you come from?
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Like he had to be following him, but it's not far fetched though, because if you notice, Sonny's eyes stay on C for a very long time, especially like that time, like when he saw that C was upset, like he'll
Mhm.
watch him go like the whole.
Yeah,
He won't take his eye off of him. So I think
exactly.
that's probably what happened. Like he smacked him up. You heard his feelings and everything. So he probably was like watching him the whole time as he
Mhm.
was driving away.
Yep.
I mean, as he was walking away, saw
Yeah.
him get in the car with them guys. Like, go ahead, follow them knuckleheads.
Yeah.
Follow them. Yeah, that was what I had. That's kind of the thought I had. Like he had to
Yeah.
be following them.
Follow that car. That little
Mhm.
cheesy line.
So now he's in his car.
Mhm.
And then C tells Sonny that he cannot believe that after all these years, he didn't trust him. And then he asks Sonny if he trusted anybody, and Sonny says no. And then, C was like, well, that's a horrible way to live. And Sonny says it's the only way.
Yeah.
So, did you want to add anything with this part or?
Mainly, it's a sad way of thinking, and maybe this is one of C's first glimpse of realizing, what, maybe this life isn't as glamorous, because if I can't trust or love,
Yeah.
what is it worth? I'm still going to be missing something out of my life. And this is
Mhm.
also on the heels of him, dealing with, the situation with Jane. So I feel like, this whole Jane situation is really, still this monkey on his back while he's going through all of these things. So
Yeah.
it's interesting that, everything happened this night.
Right.
Yeah.
That's so true. I didn't realize everything happened this night.
One day,
Like everything that's literally about to happen for the rest of this movie. Well, not the rest of it.
yeah,
Because
but
yeah. But yeah, isn't that crazy? What a night. Oh my gosh, what a night. You lose all your friends and then you lose like the biggest friend of all, like a father figure. It's crazy, right? What a life. What a story to tell.
Yes.
So but I do see, this is a moment right here. It's a pivotal moment for me that I realized that this is when you see that C has his own mind aside from Sonny. Like, yes, he eats everything up that Sonny says, but when he went through that whole thing with him not trusting him, and even after he thought he would trust him this whole time, but then realizing that, I think he had to realize his father was right. And then also say, you know what, but that's not how I want to live.
Yeah.
Like, you don't trust anybody? Like, that's crazy. I couldn't live like that. That's not gonna be me.
Yeah, I agree. This is the first time where he's probably really seen that. Because with his friends, you could tell he has his own mind, but he's too, I don't want to say too much of a punk, but I'm just going to say punk for back of letter word. He's too much of a punk to kind of let his actions follow his thought process. But yeah, this is probably it's like he's getting so many gems out of Sonny. This final, this was one night is ridiculous.
The final hours is when everything is coming like to a head.
Yeah.
All the lessons. Like, it's insane.
Like a final exam.
Yes, it's so bad. But it's so sad that this is all that it had to take to learn everything that the father was talking about.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, but at the same time, to Sonny's credit, for him to have his own mind is something, and not be like Sonny, is something that Sonny has been trying to teach C in the first place. Like, this is not for you, and you don't do what I do. So if he's saying, oh, you don't trust, well, I can't be like that. So it's like also a final moment, like it's a test too. Like, okay, well, Sonny's showing me something that I can't get down with.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna do that. So It's amazing. It's interesting. So now when they get back to the block, he comes out, and then here comes one of the guys saying, "Yeah, I think Jojo, Fat Jojo, or whatever, tells, hey, a guma, whatever he called. I don't know what he called the
Yeah,
gumata or something.
he gave her a
He
compliment. It was like
he didn't.
something.
Yeah, he didn't
Yeah,
say gumata. I think that's a different name because that means
yeah.
I think Godfather or
Mistress
something
or
like that.
fashion.
Yeah, or something. Yeah.
They use that term in Sopranos a lot. But he did, yeah. It was kind of like a racial slur, but he still like complimented her because
Right.
how cute she was or whatever.
Uh-huh. So she come looking for Calogero even after he done dropped the N-word, child. Don't matter, honey. I like Italians. So it don't matter. Cause I
Yeah,
expect
I
y'all to
thought
say
she was
the
gonna give
N-word.
him a lot more pushback, but we're in the forgiving spirit, Lord.
Yeah.
She done prayed on this man. She done did the Sierra prayer at 15.
So, they make up and she tells him that her brother lied. Okay. Like you did try to help and all of that. And they kind of share a little kiss and all of that stuff. But then as she brought up the brother again, he realized like, oh my gosh, your brother, give me your keys or whatever. And this is when he sees he puts her to the test.
Yes.
And the girl don't moved over and he
Uh-huh.
was so excited.
Yes, I love that because he didn't get to because he was trying to probably plot that earlier, was it earlier that day or
The
I
day
think it was
before,
the
I think,
previous
right?
day, yeah.
Yeah.
But he still actually was able to administer the test.
Yes. Yes. Wait a minute. I think it was all in the same day. Because the yesterday was the day that the brother got beat up.
You're
And
right.
then,
Yeah, it was
all
all
of
the
this.
same day. Jesus Christ. Oh, he slept good that night.
I
Lord.
know, right? He was like, what a day. Oh my
Or maybe
gosh.
not. He didn't sleep good that night. My
Right,
bad.
exactly. Very sad night. Very sad night. Mixed emotions, mixed everything
A
going on.
lot,
A
yeah.
lot of mixed emotions. So, before we get to the the Cajun style Caucasians or the Italians, should I say the burnt sausages? Um, she said, he asked her, can she cook pasta? And she's like, what? So my thing was, I just wanted to say this real quick. Like, honey, if she know how to cook some soul food, you probably won't forget all about that daggone pasta, baby. Okay?
Yeah, it was. No, he said, do you know how to make sauce?
Yeah, sauce.
And I was just like, this is random. And then she teaching him how to tongue kiss. I was like, oh, you
Right. It was
a little
sauce.
bit, Jane. All right, Jane, teaching
It
him a
was
little.
sauce. You're right. And you said for macaroni. I'm like, sauce for macaroni?
Yeah.
The heck going on, child? I mean, obviously. It's the pot. I mean, hey, whatever what you gonna do. All right. So now, child, they get to the scene and all of the friends are burnt to a crispy cream crisp. And the crazy thing is, like I said, they go over there and it's kind of do like a drive-by, and then they're throwing the cocktails, and then one of the dudes, I'm telling you, black people, man, we could throw some things. Got that foot, he had that football arm. Got it right up in there, and plus they had other cocktails on them, so it was just a hot mess.
Yeah.
Burnt them right on up. Yeah, and then when C got there, he was saying that once again, when we talked about like the mixed emotions and stuff, he was saying like, I didn't know whether to be happy or sad, like sad that my friends were dead or happy because I'm alive. And he was like, but one thing I'll say, I'm grateful, he was grateful that he was alive and that Sonny saved his life. So
yeah,
what are you gonna do? How did you feel about this scene when the guys got all crispied up?
Yeah, that was heavy. Two things. And this also, I think about the future, after, because I feel like there's things I would have loved, more of in this movie. But just thinking going forward, he don't have those ties to his friends that will possibly prevent his relationship moving forward with Jane. I mean, even though he kind of solidified that he don't care, but this kind of makes it easier. And then I caught like there was a crowd that started, talking, spicy.
Yeah.
And then one of the guys was like, "Well, f that beat too."
Yeah.
And so I'm like, dang, like now we see her, possibly, I mean, we kind of saw little tidbits of, her possibly like, well, it was mainly C catching, heat because they were trying to, when he knew it was time to go back to his side of
Yeah.
town. But this was the time where I'm like, oh, like by association, it's her too, So,
Right.
it was a lot.
Yeah. They was doing the most though. Like, oh,
Yeah.
they look better now, right? It's just like, shut up. I mean, oh God.
It was doing a lot, but
Yeah,
I understand the passion, but still, y'all was.
he didn't do it. Like, what the heck? You act like he did it. Like, it was so annoying. But yeah, hey, people
Yeah.
been through a lot from back in those days.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, he's feeling like so grateful that he wants to tell Sonny now. Like, I gotta go tell Sonny that he saved my life. So he's running and everything.
Mhm.
And then he gets to the Shea, whatever the freak that place is called, the bar. Okay. And like he says, as he's going through, he sees Sonny's like, hey, Sonny. And Sonny's like, hey, see, come on, let my boy in, let my boy. The bar is popping tonight.
It's popping. I'm like, let me find out.
Right. It's crowded. He gotta make his way through. And then Sonny, I'm sorry, not Sonny. C is narrating that everybody is smiling, but then he could see this one face that wasn't smiling.
Mm-hmm.
And that face is just getting closer and closer to Sonny, and then what happens. He gets right behind him and shoots him in the back of the head. And the crazy thing is that he has all these people around him, but no one sees like what's happening. Like, to me, when you're in this kind of life, you need to have somebody that's observant.
Yeah.
That's just how I feel about it.
Yeah,
Like,
they're
so.
definitely oblivious. But I feel like that's the arrogance too. Nobody's really gonna come in here. All these people. Again, like the kid looks like the same age as Sonny. Zero. Did you spell this guy a Blicky 20? Because
right,
the same. I mean, they probably moved away, but I'm just saying we got questions.
Right.
But it was so sad because for me, if it were me, I would have so much regret because in my head, I would have justified like I could have saved Sonny's life if I maybe moved quicker, or I mean, he tried. It's one of those moments where it's like you couldn't really do much, but in your head, you're probably rethinking it like I could have prevented this.
Yeah,
it was a lot. It was a lot.
Yeah, and it's kind of sad too, even looking at the picture, because look at Sonny, like he's so happy to see him.
I know.
Because that he didn't really want to, like, because when he found out that Jane came and all that, he was like, see, I told you. And he was like, come here. Like, Sonny was still trying to talk to him, like, no, come here. He was like, no, see, I told you. So they didn't even really like get like say their final, they didn't leave off on the best note. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't the best note, especially after, when they talked in the car. It wasn't like a real talk like that. He just kind of said, C said what was on his mind. Sonny said what was on his mind. And it was just like, and also, what I meant to say, that in that scene when they were in the car, Sonny was like, listen. And then what's the name was like, no, like C was like, no, I'm not going to listen. For the first time, right? Because he always is like, I'm all ears. What you got to say? But no, I'm not listening to you right now. Like, you did some crazy, like, that caught me off guard.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's so happy to see him. Like, yes, my boy is here. Like, in his mind, he probably died happy because he's like, my boy's here. Like, he ain't mad at me. He came to see me.
Yeah.
It's very sad. Yeah. So at the funeral now, I mean, this kid, he died. He had to die. There ain't no way he lived. He did not walk out. No. They probably dumped him somewhere, child. Put him in Stefano's furnace or something. I don't know, child. He was done for. I guess he knew he was committing S. So, at Sonny's funeral, of course, everybody's there. Look how many flowers. Like, it's crazy. I know that C was saying that, gangsters had a way with flowers. They act like whoever bought the most, they cared the most, or some crap like that.
Yeah.
But he's also looking around and he sees people just kind of laughing and socializing like it's nothing. Nobody looked really sad, Probably Mushmouth. He was the only one that was crying. I didn't see nobody sad. That C was the only one that looked pretty down. I will give it to what's his name? What is his name? The right hand, his right hand man, Whispers, Jimmy Whispers.
Yeah.
He didn't look sad, but he didn't look like there was dudes in there laughing and joking.
Yeah.
Telling stories like he said bow. I'm like, are you mimicking the way Sonny
crazy.
fell? Like, yeah, I'm like, what?
Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. I guess we went through the grieving phases that quick.
Yeah. And then, C is narrating like it was just like Sonny said, nobody cares.
Yeah.
I like the fact that up into the very like last moments of this movie, he's still learning. Like even he's saying nobody cares. It was just like Sonny said, nobody cares. But when his father shows up, it's like he realizes Sonny was wrong again.
Yeah.
He comes before that though. Carmine comes. This is the freaking dude that got hit with the baseball bat. Joe Pesci. How'd you feel when you saw Joe Pesci, girl?
I was like, Joe! I was like, why I ain't see your face earlier?
Right.
It said hi.
You crazy.
I didn't know it was you. You know how people like, I didn't know that was you. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was a cute cameo. Yeah.
Right. Seriously. So he said that he's going to be in the neighborhood and all of that, taking care of some things. And if Calogero needs him to holler. And she was like, listen, thank you, but no thanks. Like, I'm going to get a bar break. Like, I done had enough.
Yes. I feel like he was implying like I'm the new sheriff in town, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe I was going too far because the number 2 will probably move up. But I don't know why. I took it as, because I don't know. I just took it as I'm going to be taking over, but maybe I was reading too much into it.
No, I looked at it like that too until I kind of saw the way people were talking to Jimmy. It almost looked like they was ready to kiss the ring or some crap like that. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, they were giving me that kind of body language.
Yeah.
But he did sound like he was gonna be the new sheriff in town, like you said, like he was gonna be the one taking over.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a lot of things left unanswered, and same thing, like he asked him, he said, was the fight really over a freaking parking space? And he just says no explanation or nothing, honey. No. And he knows that C saw everything, didn't tell, because Sonny told him about him. Okay. Yeah. Like they're bonding because Sonny saved both of their lives.
Yeah. Maybe the next day C went to the bar, was like, you know what? I just have some follow-up questions. And
then I'm gonna need closure. Yeah, then we're gonna be done with this. But like before I move on with my life, I just gotta know this traumatic experience was really over a freaking
I wasn't thinking, I was grieving, my bad, but I'm good now.
Yeah. So I mean, for me, my theory, it's not like I said, it's just a theory that has like there's still no answer at all. The only thing that I could think of is that what the father said, Lorenzo, when he was like, oh, it was over a parking space. The son was like, it was over a parking space. And he was like, no, it was not over a parking space. Like Lorenzo already knew off rip that it was not over a parking space. And he was saying it's just two men that met at unfortunate times. So for me, I feel like there was some beef that they had. And like he said, and the fact that the funeral was in the neighborhood, it goes to show that the dude lived around the way.
Yeah.
Carmine probably didn't, because you never seen Carmine after that anymore. But he probably was coming through to see Sonny or something like that. And then they probably had a beef a while ago. And this is what happened. Because it's like, why get out the car with a bat and do all of that extra stuff? For what?
Didn't Carmine say he did time though too? In that scene right there? I feel like he said when he went away or something. Maybe I'm tripping, but I could have sworn he said something. I don't know. Maybe I'm confusing him and Sonny. But yeah, I do feel like it was definitely one of those situations where Sonny was like, all right, strike 3, you gotta go. Like this is not really over parking space, but this is the ample opportunity to
get rid of him,
get you out of here.
Yeah, because you're like the ops. Like he had to be the ops. Because we don't really know how close these two guys were, Carmine and Sonny.
Yeah.
But Sia J Mac, so we don't know how close they were, but it must have been close enough to where he's gonna shoot this guy in broad
Yeah.
daylight. I
Yeah.
mean, this man was clearly willing to kill this guy with this bat.
Yeah.
I mean, he said he saved my life, so he obviously felt like he was in danger.
Yeah.
I mean, well, like I said, it's just a freaking theory because I don't got nothing. Because they didn't
Yeah.
give us nothing. They didn't give us nothing, child. Nothing.
See, he was looking for answers the whole movie, and I was looking answers for this recap, and of course, I was looking to you, Miss K. I thought you knew what I didn't know.
I don't watch this movie so many times, child, and was always like, come on now.
Really?
Tell us. Okay.
That's
So before, because we're gonna talk, right? But before we get into this, I want to say something. The closing remarks that we're gonna have, it's gonna have something to do with that whole parking lot scene. So the father comes in. So we're gonna talk about this part first and close it out. The father comes in, and where am I at, child? Calogero tells him that he's sorry, like right off the bat. I'm sorry if I ever hurt you in any way. Such a sweet kid.
Yeah.
And yeah, the father hugs him, and then he thanks Sonny for saving his life. So clearly he probably went home and talked to him. Could you imagine that after this situation happened, he probably went home bawling to his dad, like, Dad, he saved my life, this and that. I was in the car. But like he probably told him the whole story. He probably never been so honest with his dad in his life.
Yeah.
Because Lorenzo knew this, he knew when he came. And he's like, I never hated you, I just didn't like the fact that you were trying to make him grow up too fast, So how did you how did you feel about this scene here?
Yeah, I love the fact that, throughout this movie we see Lorenzo walk through this, this line of, with integrity.
Yeah.
And a lot of strength he exercised. And I love the fact that even though he knew Sonny, quote unquote, possibly had a bad influence on his son all these years, he still made it a point to show his son, you know what, regardless of what issues I may have with, him, he's still your friend.
Yeah.
I'm still going to honor you by showing up, because he didn't have to do that.
Absolutely. Right. You're so right. And like you said, he had a lot of integrity. And when he was trying to explain to C, he said in that, remember when he said the working man is a sucker and he left and all of that, he tried to explain to him. He said, yeah, like I may not have all this money or whatever, I'm paraphrasing, but one thing he said, but I make an honest living and I don't have to look over my back, look over my shoulder. That's you know important. What I'm saying? It's like all the things that the father was saying, like, it's so sad that Sonny had to die for him to realize what the father was saying this whole time.
Yeah. But maybe also Sonny dying, unfortunately, and somehow, some way saved C's life. Because who would know if Sonny would have stuck around? C, when he goes to those, that crossroad of trying to figure out what he want to do with his life, he probably would strayed towards, Sonny. We don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, but then the whole thing, like, I think he started to have like some come to Jesus moments when Sonny, like, gripped him up and he showed
that
him that
true.
he didn't trust him, so he probably was like,
yeah,
that's true too.
Yeah, he was, he was like, what? I thought we was cool, but maybe
right.
Yeah,
maybe I still got some things to learn,
You're right about that. You're definitely right. He was seeing a light.
Huh?
He was seeing the light.
Yes. Hey, Philly girl.
Hey.
So now they were getting ready to leave, but then C says his final goodbyes to Sonny. He's like, "Did you hear that, Sonny? My father didn't hate you, this and that, blah blah blah." He says, "So you were wrong." This is when he tells him that he was wrong, that about nobody caring.
Yeah.
And so he kisses his hand and touches his forehead, and then he says, "Wasted talent." And for me, I feel like my closing remarks would be that I feel like throughout his life, he heard one man, he heard Sonny, and he heard his father. And ultimately, the lesson that his father taught him was the most important lesson. So, like, it's like his father's teachings prevailed over Sonny's.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, do you kind of like get
I
that a
agree.
little?
I agree. Yeah, the saddest thing in life is a waste. So, he's kind of also showing like, hey, this is the saddest thing in life. And yes, it is wasted talent. But he also kind of closed out and just, explaining, the two men in my life, they both taught me valuable lessons, and he started
Yes.
going through those lessons. So,
Mm-hmm.
they both instilled valuable things. And, you know, I love the fact that he, was driving home, Sonny was driving home to see like two educations,
Mm-hmm.
street and school, so you be twice as smart as everybody else, which I love that.
Yes.
I'm one of those, just growing up how I grew up. I'm thankful for being street smart and book smart, because it can take you places the average person who just book smart won't, can't
Right.
go. So I love that he now has these two ways of thinking, to kind
Mm-hmm.
of lead him to whatever path he goes through, in the
Yeah.
future.
Yeah. It's so funny though, because it's like he didn't really need to go to Sonny for street smarts. His father had them. Like, to me, his father was just smart enough not to get involved. But I
Yeah.
get what you're no, and I'm not like,
No, I got it.
it's just I'm saying, because
Wasn't necessary.
when I looked at Lorenzo, I'm like, the dude was smart. Like,
Yeah.
I ain't messing with you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I know what's gonna happen if I go that route. I'm not
Yeah.
doing it. You know? But if you were somebody that's just book smart or whatever, like, they would probably be like, oh sure, I'm also, I'm doing this, but it's not a big
Yeah.
deal. Like Lorenzo knew what it was. Like, I'm not getting involved in this kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Mm-mm.
But
But
maybe
with Sonny, I'm sorry, with C, yeah,
uh-huh.
and actually being under Sonny, yeah, he got more of an education for real.
Yeah, it's the exposure, right? Because
Yeah.
just the whole theory of like touching out, the stove while it's hot. Like he had to be in it and be in the midst of it to
Mm-hmm.
possibly not make mistakes in the future. Like he learned early, and now he's probably able to live his adult life knowing what that's about and not really have to deal with that curiosity,
Yeah.
because Sonny was his hero. He, could do no wrong. It all looked great. And then of
Mm-hmm.
course we see how it ends. So I do agree that his father had the street smarts, but I don't think they was be ever put in a situation where C would probably take it for what it's worth, because
Right.
he didn't really validate his father's, street smarts, because you're not in the streets, pops. I don't know how you
Exactly.
know.
It's so sad because yeah, he had to be in it.
Yeah,
He had to learn them lessons, like, and that's the thing that you just, it's like, dag, sometimes they just gotta learn.
yeah,
They
the
gotta
hard way.
learn. Yeah, you try to tell him everything, and but thank God he's still alive. I mean, that's the main thing that Lorenzo wants. He wants his son to
Yes,
be safe. Unfortunately, his friend didn't. But
yeah. I
so
mean,
before we get out of here, see, they're walking. It's not the best picture, but
mhm,
Calogero narrates that he finally understood what his father and Sonny told him about understanding things when he got older. He
mhm,
says that he learned a lot from these two men. He learned to give love and get love unconditionally. And
mhm.
he learned the greatest gift of all. The saddest thing in life is wasted talent, and the choices that you make will shape your life forever.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yes.
Amazing. So before I started to do this, I forgot to mention that a fun fact that I didn't know as I was like watching the credits is that this movie was based on a screenplay by Chad Palminteri, the one that plays Sonny. I was like, what? I had no clue.
Oh, wow.
It's
I
like
did see the fact that it
right.
was based on a screenplay, but I didn't put the names together. Wow.
Yeah, it was like right in front of my. I'm like, wow, and
That's
I'm like, this is amazing, amazing work. And then at the end, we saw that it was dedicated to Robert De Niro Sr. So they probably really came together, obviously, and they put together a masterpiece, in my opinion.
yeah.
Now, what I wanted to say, before you can give your closing remarks,
Mhm.
pretty girl, is that I feel some relation after we watched, um what is that show that we watched? Go Get Gotti. After
Uh-huh.
we watched that, I went and I had, oh no, yeah, Get Gotti. Okay. Do you remember the that there was some situation that happened over a parking space with Gotti involved, and I think they wind up. I don't think they deleted the guy, but they beat him up, and he wound up being a
Oh,
witness and all this, some crazy stuff like
yes.
that.
It was like a refrigerated delivery guy or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, yo, is this a little like I was wondering if there was some type of little
Think about that.
hints from the Gotti situation with this, you
Because
know?
this movie came out 93. So
Mm-hmm.
when was the Gotti the Gotti thing was early 90s, late 80s, right? Because
Yeah.
it was around this time.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
So,
crazy.
because I was like, they pulling stuff from here because it kind of seems like they might be pulling things.
Yeah,
You could get some. You like the thing about it is you know a story and you can just take a really really small piece of it and then
yeah,
just add your little spin on it. Okay, well this time they beat the heck out of the guy, but we gonna delete
that's
this one.
true.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
I know there was something else, but that's the one thing when it came to that parking lot scene. I mean that
parking
parking
space.
space
Mhm.
situation is it kept making me go back to that. And then another thing. Remember how I kind of got a little bit obsessed with Sammy the Bull after the whole Get Gotti thing because I wanted to know his
You went
motivation.
down a rabbit hole.
Yeah. You know how I am. I wanted to know his motivations, like what the freak happened, right? So I was listening to like a lot of his interviews and things like that, and
Mhm.
he comes from a background like Calogero, where he's got
Mm,
hardworking parents and things like that. But the people in the neighborhood, he was around wise guys and things like that, so they influenced him, and he kind of like got into the life like that. And so I
mm,
was wondering if they kind of put that in there with Calogero, how he, his father's a hardworking man and things like that. But because of the influence, it's right there in front of him.
yeah,
He couldn't help but get into the street life. But once again, you take that from a real life story, you put your little spin on it, and Calogero still kind of stays the straight and narrow, and you got
yeah,
these two men in his ear. It's like a battle of the dads or whatever.
yeah. I like that. Yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah, I was wondering.
that
Another
is
thing is we didn't see the mother anymore. Okay, but I just wanted to say that real quick.
that is true.
Like, what the freak happened to
She was
her?
mad at that 600 and then leave the room. She said, "Dang, the 600 and the 150, we losing out." But at the
Yes.
end of the day, he made the right decision,
Mm-hmm.
of course. But yeah, this was really a really good movie. Like I said, this was on my list of obtaining my black card or my hood card, my trap card, all my cards because this was a movie that I've always, of course, heard about but just never seen. Um, but I am definitely glad it's and it's funny now a lot of these movies that I'm now watching or watching for the first time I see
Mhm.
how it influenced um a
Sorry.
bunch of new shows that we are currently watching because like
Yeah.
we saw about the Tommy canceling Christmas, that's a
Mm-hmm.
famous line of power, but we saw the whole situation with Gotti and oh gosh,
Oh my gosh, isn't that
guy
crazy?
forgot the guy that he the boss that he murked, but
Oh,
it was right before Christmas. Why I can't think of his name?
me too. Columbo? Is it Columbo?
No,
It's not
it's like a
Columbo.
P or a D. I can't
It
remember.
is a P. Oh my god, I knew it was a P. Why
But
did I say
not Paloma
Columbo?
Girl. Oh,
It's
it's making me mad.
Paul Castellano. Paul
Casamano, yes,
Castellano.
sorry. I don't know where I
Okay.
got the P from. But yeah, I just
Paul.
love that. But this was a great tale.
Yeah.
The only I can't it's not even a critique, but a wish. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to delve more into the relationship and them navigating this interracial relationship at this
Mm-hmm.
time in the neighborhoods. I probably would have liked a little more inkling, but I mean, it ended on a perfect situation. I don't have any
Yeah.
qualms, but I would have loved to see that kind of develop a little more. But
Yeah.
that's my only thing. I just love seeing the conflict. I love seeing just having, like I said, the two influences, and then him growing up in the midst of that and trying to find his own way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this was a great story. I loved it.
It really was. Awesome, awesome story. I don't have anything else to say. I think I was trying to say all my stuff throughout, because a lot of times what happens is I'll say, "Oh, I'll say it at the end," and I'll totally forget
Me
because like
too.
my mindset is on getting out of here. So it's like, let me do
No, I get this was definitely
it.
we had to go through it though. We had to.
Yeah, I was like, maybe we can do it for an hour and a little bit of change, but nah.
It's okay.
I just kind of knew it was not going to happen, but it's okay. But hopefully people enjoyed it. Thank you guys for the people that stuck, you kind of stayed in there, you hung in there. Appreciate it. You know. And we're about to go watch BMF. Listen, we kept y'all occupied, okay? Until
Guys,
BMF came on, just a few more minutes, okay?
you're
Thank
welcome.
you very much. Exactly. I said thank you. You should be thanking me. You're welcome. Okay, thank you so much, pretty girl,
Thank
for
you.
coming through.
Fun.
Do you have Sunday?
Yeah,
Is when
Sunday at
you're
11 is when I review the Star show. So
yes,
stay tuned for that, guys.
yes, and Friday night, Friday midnight tomorrow. We're gonna be talking about BMF. Okay,
Great.
have a blessed one, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye.